Let's start with the disappointing end. It's difficult giving a no medal, I think, in a judging criteria. Nobody enjoys doing that. It's not why we're here. But Dawn, to you, what constitutes no medal?
I think also one thing to say, if you get a no medal and we're giving criticism back or feedback, not criticism, because it is feedback, we actually want the producer to do better. So often with a no medal, it's a lot about maybe there's something that stands out in it, like maybe it's a bit of spiky alcohol, or the oak's too overplayed, especially in sort of aged spirits, or the product isn't balanced.
So the panels are deliberately set up so that you have someone who knows a lot more about distilling, and then another person who perhaps takes it a bit more from a bartending or a trade perspective, or from a consumer or a category expertise perspective. And the emphasis really is then on going, okay, well, let's break down the why, and not just say, hey, this is actually what we don't like about it, but go, well, what could you do as a producer in order to make that better?
So, it's not necessarily that someone's saying you're a bad distiller. It's us saying there's something that's just not working in that product. And I think it's a really good point. Exactly. It's balance. Yeah. When we put our names to things, we want them to be the best that they can be. What we want to say is that, there's probably some very good things in the product. There's just something that's holding it back. So work on that holding it back. And, next year, gold outstanding.
Bronze, that's a real achievement in itself, isn't it?
Oftentimes it's saying, do you know what? We see potential. You're doing the right things. You're going in the right direction. So actually take it and run with it, because next year you'll be a silver, and the year after you'll be a gold, and definitely one day you'll be a gold outstanding. Look, this is a really good liquid, but there's maybe just something that's not elevating it. So, maybe benchmark, taste your spirits against maybe the same category that's got a silver, that's got a gold, and look at that and learn from that on how you can get to that next step.
So that global nature that IWSC has, you're tasting hundreds and hundreds within a category, and sometimes you can go, well, mine's amazing, given in the context of a certain country, and bronze feels harsh. But on the international stage, when you benchmark it against the best in the world, then it's a slightly different spectrum of quality that you're up against. And so achieving a bronze is still a really big deal, because it's not a national competition. It's not, just in your area, or just certain producers who have a certain style, or who have a certain whatever it might be. It is against the best in the world. And so, yeah, it really is actually worthwhile and worth something.
So to me, a bronze is something that I would quite happily pick up, drink, maybe not go back to again. It's something that's really lovely, that just easy drinking is maybe sort of how I would probably put a bronze. I think silver's a really important sort of medal, because it's kind of saying you're going really in the right direction. You're not quite there, but you're going there. And it's definitely got more complexity. That's the first thing I would say. When you pick up and you nose it, you're sort of thinking about it a lot more. You're probably giving it more descriptions. Once you taste it, there's more harmony on the palate, and the length is a bit longer, and you're paying more attention to it.
And Olivier, for you, what does silver mean?
Yeah, so from a gin perspective, to achieve silver, you've really got to nail quite a few technical aspects of what makes a good gin. So obviously spirit to botanical integration, but just spirit integration with botanicals, and how those two relate. Flavor sequence, flavor intensity, clarity of botanical, and usually, like in the silver, you see all of those things.
I mean, gold is the va-va-voom. It's the spirits or the liquid that it makes you smile. These are the best of the best. Yeah. This is really liquid that is almost faultless. It's integrated. The wood's not sticking out if it's an aged spirit. The fruit is there that's just elevating it. And, there's a lot of kind of complexity going on, and the length just goes and goes and goes, and everything's just beautifully harmonious.
For me, the difference between a silver and a gold is a human factor. And because silvers are technically well made, they have all of this thing. but something needs to go about, as in to get that extra mark. At the end of the day, like I always look at all distillers, irrespective of the category that you're making or products that you're producing, well, they're storytellers. And often that's what golds do. They manage to imbue a story, a narrative, an idea into a glass that somehow hits you in the nostrils, and you just smile and you get excited and you're like, this is amazing, and this is what it reminds me of, and this is why I like it, and this is why it's also really bloody hard to do. Less than 10% of gins got gold this year. Around, about 10 to 12% overall in the IWSC get gold, right? It's a really, really tough thing to do, to get all of that and distill it into liquid form. And for that to just pop out as soon as it comes out, completely blind, in a tray, with loads of other spirits around it, being tasted on an international stage by people who really know their stuff.
And I think it's not like just about big, powerful flavors. I think that's super important. I don't want someone, when they have a gold, to have one glass and be like, okay, that was nice, but my palate's exhausted, I don't want another one. I want that bottle gone, and I want them buying another bottle because they love it so much. And then they're going to their friends and saying, oh my goodness, I had this liquid. That's what we want from gold. We want that product or that brand or whatever to really be selling more, because people are like, this is absolutely delicious liquid.